Listen to me before you take one more step on a staircase. If every time you see stairs, you have to take a deep breath, grab the handrail, or tell yourself to slow down, then your problem is not your knees. And no, it is not because you are old. Most people over 60 believe the same wrong explanation. My body is getting weaker with age. I just have to accept it. But the truth is different. And it is far more uncomfortable. Because if it were simply about getting older, why is it that some people at 70 or 75 can walk upstairs without even thinking about it, while others at 60 are already dragging each step, their heart racing, their knees shaking, and their minds stuck on one vague fear: what if I slip? Here is the part no one tells you directly. Stairs do not demand strength in the way the gym teaches you. They demand a very specific kind of muscle coordination. And that coordination is the first thing we lose as we age. Yet almost nobody retrains it the right way. And this is what really shocks people. Most exercise programs for older adults, even the ones labeled safe, gentle, or senior-friendly, are training the wrong sequence, the wrong type of movement, and something that does not match the real demands of stairs at all. You might work out regularly. You might walk every day. You might even cycle or use machines at the gym. But when you stand in front of a staircase, your body still hesitates. Because your brain no longer trusts its own ability to stay in control. In this video, I am going to show you 5 very specific movement patterns. Nothing flashy, nothing complicated, yet they have helped many people over 60 regain the feeling of stepping up without having to think about it. Not after years, but in just a few weeks, if they are done the right way. And I want you to listen carefully to this. The most effective one is not what you think. In fact, it is the most overlooked exercise of all, which is exactly why I am placing it at number 1. But before we go into each movement, pause for a moment. Ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you walked up a staircase without mentally preparing yourself? And which everyday activity, even a very small one, has recently started to feel harder for you? Write it in the comments. Not to complain, but to help you realize something important. You are not the only one going through this. And right now, we are going to start with the first movement. A motion that looks simple, but if you do it wrong, everything that follows becomes meaningless. Movement number 5. The exercise that teaches your body how to hold itself on stairs. We are going to start with the movement that most people underestimate the most. Not because it is weak, but because it does not make you feel tired right away. And that is exactly the mistake. Because, when you climb stairs, the hardest part is not stepping up. It is the moment when you have to hold your entire body weight in one position, even if only for a split second. And if your body is no longer used to holding, your brain turns on its safety alarm. You slow down, you grab the handrail, you tense up, even before you take the step. This movement does not ask you to move. It asks you to stay still, the right way. The wall sit. It sounds simple. But if you do it correctly, you will understand why most other exercises fail to fix stair problems. Lean your back against a wall. Step your feet forward just far enough. Slowly lower yourself until your thighs are close to parallel with the floor. It does not need to be perfect. You do not need to force yourself lower. What matters is not how low you go. What matters is how long you can stay stable. Hold the first 20 seconds, and pay attention to this. If your knees shake slightly, that is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that your nervous system is waking up. Most people focus on muscles, but stairs are a test of trust between the brain and the body. When you hold this position, your brain is relearning something it forgot. I can hold this weight. I am still in control. In the first week, just hold for 20 to 30 seconds. The next week, add 5 more seconds. There is no rush. And here is a detail very few people know. How you breathe during this movement matters more than how long you hold it. Do not hold your breath. Breathe slowly. Breathe evenly. Every breath sends a signal to your brain that says, there is no danger. When the brain stops panicking, the body finally starts to get stronger. When you can hold this position for about 60 to 90 seconds without stiffening up, you will notice something strange. Your first step onto a staircase feels lighter, even though you have not practiced climbing stairs at all. But this is only the foundation. Because being able to hold is one thing. Being able to stay in control while lowering yourself is a completely different story. And that is when we move on to the next exercise. Movement number 4. Why going downstairs is harder than going up, and why most people train it wrong. Let me ask you a very direct question. Are you more afraid of going up the stairs, Or going down? If you are like most people over 60, going down is when you grip the handrail. Going down is when your heart starts to beat faster. And going down is when accidents happen most often. Yet almost no exercises teach you how to go down the right way. We are going to fix that right now. Movement number 4 is not about stepping up. It is about stepping down with control. Find a low step, maybe the first step of the staircase in your home. Stand on it with both feet. Now shift your weight onto your right leg. Slowly lower your left foot down to the floor. And I want to emphasize this. Slowly, count in your head. 1, 2, 3. If you drop down quickly, you have missed the entire point. What is being trained here is not strength. It is your ability to break the movement. When you go downstairs, your muscles do not push. They slow you down. And this braking ability declines very quickly with age, unless you retrain it the right way. Keep your upper body upright. Do not tilt your head down to look at your feet. This may sound counterintuitive, but it is extremely important. When you look down, your brain switches into a defensive mode, and your balance drops noticeably. Look straight ahead. Trust the feeling of your foot meeting the ground. Start with 6 to 8 repetitions on each leg. You do not need more. After about 10 to 14 days, you will notice something very interesting. When you go down real stairs, you no longer fall into each step. You lower yourself on purpose, and that is when confidence starts to return. If you want to make this more challenging after a few weeks, hold a light object in front of your chest, not to make it heavier, but to force your body to stay more stable. But do not rush it. Because if you have not mastered the ability to lower yourself, then all the strength you build above that point is meaningless. And now, we are about to touch on the quietest cause of all. The reason many people feel unsteady on stairs. A small group of muscles on the side of the body that decides whether you need the handrail or not. That will be movement number 3. Movement number 3, the small muscle group that makes you feel unsteady, even when you are not weak. If you have ever thought, my legs still feel strong, so why do I feel unsure when I stand on stairs? Then listen closely to this part, because the problem is not in the front of your thighs. It is on the sides of your hips, an area most people have never been taught how to train properly. This muscle group does not help you push yourself upward. It does something much quieter. It keeps you from tipping sideways when all of your weight shifts from one leg to the other. Every stair step is a split second of standing on one leg. And if your body does not feel confident in that moment, your brain switches on its warning system. You hesitate. You reach for the handrail. You lose your rhythm. Movement number 3 is very simple, but it directly targets this exact problem. Standing leg raises to the side. Stand tall. Stand tall. If needed, place one hand on a wall or a chair for balance. Shift your weight onto your left leg. Keep your torso upright. Do not lean. Slowly lift your right leg out to the side. It does not need to go high. Only until you feel a light tension along the side of your hip. Hold for 2 seconds. Then lower it down slowly. What matters is not the leg that is lifting. It is the leg that is standing. The supporting leg is learning how to keep you upright. Exactly like when you are standing on a real stair. If you move too fast, you miss the effect. If you sway your body, you turn it into a cheating movement. Imagine you are balancing a full glass of water on your head. Your torso cannot tilt. There is no rushing. Start with 8 to 10 repetitions on each side. You do not need more. And here is the sign that you are doing it right. A burning sensation on the side of the hip. That is not fatigue. That is a long neglected muscle group waking up. After about 1 to 2 weeks, many people notice something interesting. When stepping onto stairs, the feeling of wobbling disappears even before any strength gains show up. Because your body does not need to be stronger right away. It needs to be more stable first. And now, with your ability to hold, lower, and stabilize in place, we are going to return to a movement so familiar that you would never expect it to be this important. Movement number 2, a seemingly ordinary motion that determines whether you can actually drive yourself up. Try to recall this feeling. You are sitting on a chair, and when you stand up, you need momentum. Or you have to push with your hands. Or you get up, but it does not feel smooth or controlled. If that is happening to you, then climbing stairs will never truly feel easy, no matter how many other exercises you do. Because climbing stairs and standing up from a chair share the exact same mechanism. Movement number 2. The controlled sit to stand. Not popping up. Not dropping down. Choose a sturdy chair. Sit near the edge. Place both feet firmly on the floor. Cross your arms over your chest. Do not push with your hands. Before you stand up, do this. Lean your body forward from the hips, not from the back. Your nose should come close to lining up with your toes. Now, push the floor away with your heels and stand up. No rushing, no jerking. When you are fully upright, pause for half a second, then slowly lower yourself back down. The lowering phase is just as important as standing up. It teaches your body how to control weight on the way downstairs, which is what most people lack the most. Exhale as you stand up. Inhale as you lower yourself. This breathing pattern is not random. It helps you generate force without creating unnecessary tension. Start with 6 to 8 repetitions. 3 sets are enough. If you feel tired quickly, that is not weakness. It is a sign that you have not been using the right muscle groups for a long time. After about 2 to 3 weeks, many people notice this. They can stand up from a chair more easily. And when they step onto stairs, the first step no longer feels as heavy as it used to. But we are still not at the final piece. Because there is another muscle group, small, yet responsible for nearly half of the driving force when climbing stairs. And this is the exercise that made researchers rethink many of their old assumptions. Movement number 1 is not the exercise you expect, but it is the reason everything above it finally starts to work smoothly. Movement number 1. What actually drives you up the stairs, and why most people train it wrong. If you still believe that climbing stairs is mainly a thigh exercise, this is the moment you need to change your perspective. Because the force that truly drives you upward does not come from the front of the thighs. It comes from the very bottom of the leg, an area most people never pay attention to until it betrays them. Try to remember this feeling. You make it up the first few steps, but the higher you go, the heavier each step feels, as if something is pulling you back down. That is not fatigue. That is a loss of the ability to produce force at the right moment. Movement number 1. Heel raises with a hold, not bouncing, not popping up quickly. This is lift, hold, and control. Stand on the edge of a low step or a sturdy platform. Let your heels hang off the back. If needed, lightly touch a wall for balance, but do not pull on it. Now rise up onto your toes as high as you possibly can, until you cannot go any higher. Hold for 3 seconds. During those 3 seconds, do not think, I am getting tired. Think instead, I am pushing the ground away. That mental cue is what tells your body to recruit the exact muscle fibers that stairs demand. Then slowly lower your heels down, over 3 seconds. Do not drop. Do not rush. Pause briefly at the bottom, then repeat. If you simply lift up and drop down quickly, you are training the wrong sequence. Stairs do not reward speed. They reward the ability to hold force at the top. Start with both feet, 10 to 12 repetitions. 2 to 3 sets. After about 2 weeks, once this movement feels controlled, switch to one leg. And this is where everything changes. The first time you try it on one leg, you will feel yourself wobble. Good. That instability is waking up the small stabilizing muscles that give you confidence on stairs in low light, when your hands are carrying something, or when there is no handrail. Hold for 2 to 3 seconds at the top. Lower for 3 seconds. Slow. Intentional. After about 7 to 10 days, many people notice something almost unbelievable. They stop thinking when they climb stairs. The leg drives itself. The rhythm takes over. And that is the sign you are reprogramming the movement, not just exercising until you are tired. Take a moment to look at the entire picture. You have learned how to hold your body while staying still. You have learned how to lower yourself with control. You have built side-to-side stability. You have restored a strong sit-to-stand movement. And finally, you have awakened your true driving force. 5 movements. Nothing fancy. No gym. No complicated equipment. But together, they do something incredibly important. They teach your body to trust itself again. This is not a story about getting stronger. This is a story about reclaiming your freedom to move. You do not need to do everything today. It does not need to be perfect. It just needs to be in the right order. Start with one movement. Move slowly. Be consistent. And now, I want to ask you one question. Answer it honestly. When was the last time you climbed stairs without mentally preparing yourself? And if you start today, which movement will you do first? Write it in the comments. These stories are not just for you. They help others realize something important. They are not past their prime. Thank you for staying until the end. And if you want to keep moving with more freedom, follow this channel. The next video will help you go even further in the way your body truly needs.